Hello, my name is Scuria-Herman, and today I'll be checking out not a song, but a video about why Sick Boy was taken down on all platforms, as this video details by Ren. I mentioned in the last video how I was interested in this. I got a comment, or multiple comments technically, talking about how I need to look into this. I asked in the last video, should I watch it on as a reaction, or should I just watch it on my own? A lot of you seemed interested in me actually checking it out. I wanted to say it's a 30-minute video. I doubt I'm gonna be able to have that much commentary. I think I am gonna cut a little around, especially I'm not gonna cut in person, so I don't know why this matters, but I do have to get somewhere. So I'm probably not gonna have that much commentary, but I do want to check this out because I am really interested in it, so I shall.
This is a video that I never ever really wanted to have to make, but it's very important for me that I do. All the time, artists all over the world pour their souls into their work, and that work is tainted by money or greed. A lot of you will have been asking me the question why Sick Boy has disappeared now, as well as YouTube on streaming services. It's a video that was very close to me. It's a video that told my story about my health. It's a video that told the story of many other people who have been gaslit by the medical community. It's a story of greed in the music industry, ironically, funnily enough. It's also a song that I poured tens of thousands of pounds into for a music video, for promotion. It was also the leading title of the only #1 album that I've got, so I was very, very proud of it. And we'll no longer have that song, guys. And I want to go into the reasons why. Also, I do recommend sticking around to the end of this video, because I've got a very exciting announcement about all of this that relates to all of this right at the end. People who have been following me for a while, they'll know the sort of person I am. They know the principles that I have, and they'll know how I treat other independent artists. So they'll know why it was so important for me to have to make this video. And I want it to be as unbiased as possible. Obviously I'm emotionally affected by it, and that may leak in, right? But I want to share entire clips of these conversations so there can be no doubt. Also, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to share any more screenshots of other those conversations, I encourage them to, because I believe that this should all be public knowledge, so there can be no doubt. Rather than taking people's words from it, I would like them just to see transparently what has happened here. To give context for all of this, back in 2022, I buy a beat from BeatStars, right? If anyone who doesn't know, BeatStars is a platform that connects producers to artists who need beats. I do produce most of my own work, but I wanted to find some hip-hop beats for inspiration. What I would usually do is buy a beat, arrange it slightly differently, tweak it myself, add my own vocals, add my own layers and stuff like that. I find this banging beat, right, from a producer called Kujobeats, which I buy an unlimited license for. This is all very important to keep in mind for later on, right? I buy an unlimited license, which means that I am able to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording platforms. I'm able to
I mean, it looks pretty expansive, the term. I was gonna say, like, it might be subject to some, like, stipulation in the fine print, but as far as the usage terms here say, he should have all the rights for it.
to put it on all streaming platforms and get as many streams as I want, and all recording on platforms like YouTube, etc. Right? After I do this, I send my YouTube guy that I work with, and I send the publishing team an email just giving them a heads up, being like, yo guys, I bought this beat, they need to be registered correctly, content ID needs to be turned off. I'll put a clip of that. I'm putting screenshots of those messages here just in case Kujo claims I never did this. I did do this. I also went the extra mile and messaged the team and said, look, we need to credit him on Spotify credits and stuff like that as well, because sometimes artists don't always fully credit producers. I think that I forgot to do it in the YouTube description for like the first month or two, and then I updated it, and then he was fully credited the whole time, right? That was just a lapse because there was a lot going on. I was in Canada treating and stuff. Also, in the BeatStars contract, it says very clearly that the person selling you the beat has to own the beat, and if there are any elements of the beat that he doesn't own, he has to let you know. this is very important to remember for what is to follow as well, right? So yeah, I think there's no problems. I buy the beat, I record a song. This is before things have blown up with my music, so I'm still pretty underground artist at this point. I record the track, put it out. I even get a message from him at some point, which is also important to remember because of the hypocrisy of this whole situation. Just like, wicked, I love the track. Okay? Remember that too.
Okay. He keeps coming back to this point, and he says it's important to remember it later. The fact that he keeps talking about how the unlicensed music part, if this guy forced him to take down the song from all platforms when he didn't even own the full thing himself, that's insane. I don't know where this is going necessarily, but I think that the ownership is obviously going to be involved somehow. But that is insane. That's just, that element is mind-boggling to me.
Problem with BeatStars because I'm not interested in going to war with them, because I think that it's really cool that there's a platform like that exists for artists and producers to be connected. Just thought I'd put that out there and make that clear. Right, so I arrive home from Canada after a 1.5 year long treatment of treating brain damage and autoimmunity, which a lot of you will know if you've been following my journey. And I'm expecting a nice 2 weeks with my mates before I do my first ever solo show in 5 years because of my health. So I'm just like, I want a nice chill time. I want to be able to focus on rehearsing and stuff. Very early on, I wake up to a message saying, yo, your song Sick Boy has been taken down. So I look at it, and sure enough, it's been copyright striked from this guy Kujobeats, the channel. And initially I'm like, oh, this just must be some automatic fuck up. So like, I don't take it too seriously. I send him a message like, yo, there must have been a technical error or something here. No response for 2 days. So I'm like, what's going on? So I check his channel, and then I see a comment of that beat that he licensed me, and I see a comment that's like, Ren has left me no choice. I'm sorry that I had to do this. And I'm like, okay, so this was intentional. Like, what? Like, the last conversation I had with this guy was months ago with him being like, yo, big up your work, it's sick. So I'm like super confused about it. So I send him another email like, dude, what's going on? Again, I get absolutely no response. So I put a comment on his YouTube comment section, and I'm like, bro, I'm trying to get hold of you. Why are you ignoring me? Like, I just want to resolve this amicably. What's going on? Finally, I get a response on Instagram. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these...
I will say, normally in situations like this, it's a sort of faux pas to bring up health for a reason, like, oh, I didn't like offer you correct credit because I wasn't feeling well. I feel like going through brain damage treatment is a good enough excuse to say like, oh, sorry that you couldn't get in contact with me. I feel like that's good enough. I feel like there's a few health things that are pretty good excuses. I mean, he's being, I wanted to pause because I wanted to see like, is he being aggressive? Is he being like demeaning in these messages? Is he saying something in these messages that he's not saying verbally now? Obviously he's catering these messages, so it's impossible to really like say for sure what he means or like what his like what actually transpired, because this is filtered through a lens. But as far as I could tell from these messages, I really can't see where this Kujo guy is coming from. Stay out of all things business. What's funny about this, I don't know if it's necessarily funny, I guess enlightening, is the fact that Ren truly sticks to his morals here. Because the whole thing with Money Game, if you made a song like the Money Game series and then just turned around and said like, oh, I'm dealing in this business, I'm raking in money, I'm doing fine, I'm in perfect health, I do feel like that would be hypocritical. The fact that he's saying in these messages, obviously this isn't the point of this, but I stay out of all things business, I feel like that makes me feel better about Ren because it fits with how he's been presented in everything I've seen him in. I don't know, I find that nice. Yeah.
Finally, I get a response on Instagram. And for the sake of this video, I'm just going to put all of these responses in their full form so that there can be no doubt as to what happened. I'm just going to read out like the key moments and explain the key moments. Yeah. But if anyone's like interested in deep diving so there can be no doubt as to what's happened here, feel free to pause it. If Kujo and his girlfriend, like I said, feel like I've left anything out, they are welcome to post it. I have nothing to hide about this situation. So he responds and he tells me that he's been talking to my lawyer for months, which I have no idea about. I've been in Canada.
Hey Ren, I'm really sorry that it came to this. And Ren mentioned that sentence was said elsewhere as well. And that's a really specific phrasing because it's trying to divert blame from oneself. It's really trying to like, it's in the same vein as like, I'm sorry you're offended. Because you're not sorry. You're sorry that the person is offended. You're not sorry for offending them. I'm really sorry that it came to this. I'm really sorry that my hand was forced. It's the fakest apology you could muster. I especially asked my legal rep not to request a strike since I wanted to avoid this type of situation. Okay? My rep has been in contact with your lawyer, who's been exceedingly incompetent in his handling of the situation. I'm not gonna read the next sentence, I assume that's some British slang, but just has been exceedingly incompetent in his handling of the situation. I feel like it is telling of how he approaches this, where it's like, hi Ren, I'm sorry that it came to this. Your lawyer has been really incompetent in getting on my nerves. Just the quick turnaround of that is telling, I feel. We have been in negotiations for many months and he has yet to come forward to reasonable terms according to industry standards, but you sold the rights. There shouldn't be any further negotiations because Ren should have the rights. And Ren wasn't notified of any of this. So I would doubt that Ren's own lawyer wouldn't tell him about this. So yeah, I'd say talk to whomstever and see what he says. I'm still waiting on updates from my rep at BeatStars. Hi man, I had no idea at all you were talking. He should have told you. All I was told is that a couple months ago the choir sample hadn't been cleared and that they were chasing us for money and that it was being dealt with. So I just figured it was being sorted behind the scenes. That's why this has all been so surprising. He's apologizing a lot, but his language here, I don't know, I don't trust him. Am I biased because I'm watching Ren's video on this and not Kujo's video on this? Maybe, but from the evidence provided, it's hard to really see that Kujo's in the right. I really don't. Because, okay, I'm not trying to defend anybody here. I'm literally just trying to understand where one is coming from. And I don't know, we're gonna see, I guess. But, wow.
And he seems like quite a nice guy initially, so I'm like, okay, maybe this has all just been a misunderstanding. I remember even saying to like Connor and that, I was like, this has probably just been a misunderstanding and something's gone wrong here. Don't worry. He seems like you're alright, dude. We will.
The vibe I got from the messages was he's nice to your face because he was really talking down on your lawyer. He's really nice to your face, but behind the scenes, he could be saying the same thing about the lawyer that he's saying. Or he could be saying the same thing about you that he's saying about the lawyer to you.
Sort this out. But then after that little exchange, I noticed a comment in the YouTube comment section on his video saying that I'm lying about the situation.
Yeah. Wow. That's exactly what I said. Because now it's not Ren's team. Now it's not Ren's lawyer. It's I've waited over a year for Ren. Because now it's the specific phrasing changing from Ren's lawyer, Ren's team to Ren and his team is important because now he's casting blame. Don't spread misinformation, don't lie.
When I thought that we like on the same page here, so I pull him up on it and he's like, oh no, I didn't say you were lying. When he clearly did. That should have been like the first red flag for me, but still giving him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, okay, maybe another misunderstanding. Anyway, so I contact my lawyer to find out what the hell's happening, because I'm in the dark about all of this situation. And he explains to me that I've been sold a beat with a stolen sample, with an unlicensed sample, and that the Bulgarian choir sample owners had chased him and gone, look, you've used this beat without permission, you've used this sample without permission, and so you need to give us 50% of the publishing split. And what my lawyer's done, because we were sold a beat in good faith and it wasn't actually cleared, he's reached out to Kujo and gone, look, I think you need to absorb this for selling this in bad faith, basically. And they've gone, no, we're not going to absorb that. And then it's escalated. Yeah. And
because he literally said, obviously it's all leading up to this, but he literally said earlier in the video, the website has in its terms, you can't sell something you don't own. Kujo's just in the wrong here. And if the guy is, chasing him for money, he should be the one to pay it, because it's not Ren's fault that the guy sold him something that he didn't own.
And I think because my lawyer was being slightly slow with the responses, they also, keep in mind, I don't know any of this is happening right now. To get my attention, they issue a copyright strike on the video, which affects my YouTube channel, by the way, and the video gets taken down as a form of leverage, which is a bizarre way of dealing with things, I think, because it would have been a good idea to contact me, maybe, like anyone first, if this was getting so, blown up. Maybe the lawyers, maybe Kujo could have actually reached out to me, the artist. Nobody did. So I found that a bit bizarre. Any fucking way. Then I read another comment that Kujo's posted, calling me a coward.
And I think it's cowardly of you to pretend like you have done nothing wrong. Oh my god. Oh my god. Wow. It's cowardly of you to pretend like you have done nothing. That's insane. That's insane. After the messages, it's just, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing. The fakeness of how he's acting behind the scenes, and just yeah, sorry, man. It's just your lawyer is so incompetent and he can't do anything. But I understand where you're coming from and all that. And then it goes to, you are a coward. You are not paying me my fair share. How dare you? And it's just publicly doing that. It's a power play. It's an awful thing to do. Wow, that's evil.
To pay the royalties he's owed, and I'm like, what royalty? That's also, in my head, the publishers are just paying him the money, and now the situation has to change until everyone agrees on it. But I wasn't even privy to that conversation about what a fair split should be yet. So I was like, what? I don't owe you. I don't owe this guy money. There's no master splits on the BeatStars contracts, by the way. So all money that comes in to Kujo, which should be paid to Kujo, rightly so, comes from the publisher, which has nothing to do with me, by the way. I explained this so many times in this conversation, by the way, and he's adamant to say, probably short of 50 times, pay me my money. I am nothing to do with his money, right? So it's a very bizarre thing to keep saying, but I try to explain that to him patiently, never really takes it in. Anyway, he calls me a coward on this comment, so I pull him up on that. This actually starts to then rub me up a little bit. So I'm I pull him up on that, saying the hell, cowardly.
Okay. The restraint is impressive. Wow. Also, this man cowardly, bro. I don't even know you weren't being paid publishing, but publishing has nothing to do with the actual artist. I've been frustrated with my own publisher, but if there's been a faulty registration of your publishing, then you and me are both pissed at them, because I forwarded them the contact from BeatStars for this exact reason, so you get all publishing you deserve. There should be a 50-50 split. Bet? After calling him a coward, you just bet? I'll edit it out. Like I said, I woke up to a bunch of angry fans that got me shook. So that you're mad at the fans, so you call Ren a coward. And that's supposed to not make the fans angry at you? This is all just pretty crazy to do. The next part is underlined. To go about things, I don't understand why the copyright strike would even be sent without anyone, you or my lawyer, telling me what's going on. I don't understand why your lawyer didn't tell you anything. This is on him. See what I mean? In public, he'll blame Rem. In private, he'll blame a lawyer. He doesn't want confrontation. Copyright strike.
Anyway, I'm still giving him the benefit of the doubt at this point. Anyway, despite this, I feel like he's probably just misinformed, so I still take his side on it.
The heart reacts, the little heart hands. Thanks for being so open and respectful. What big teeth you have. I have nothing else to say here. That's crazy. What's crazy is, like, in the business world, leverage and stuff. It's specifically to Ren, who stated how much he has disdain for these systems, to try and use that against him is honestly like a death wish. Like, I don't understand why you would specifically try that on him. Because, yeah, in the business world, leverage would probably work there. But you're not in the business world, you're dealing with a human. And as he says, you can't just message him. The fact that they would try to take his work away from him as leverage instead of talking to him,
Scratch. I've done a lot of like 50-50 splits, or I've done like 25-75, or with other collaborated artists, we just agree on a split that's like 50-50, 25. So, you know, like 15% isn't outrageous, right? What's outrageous is that they already sold it with an unlimited license right from the get-go. So you go into BeatStars thinking, I'm buying an unlimited license for this much money, right? And I was broke at the time when I bought that beat. So it's like, you go into the situation buying something, and then later on down the line, it can come back and sting you if they go, oh, this slight thing, well, we found a loophole here, which means then now you owe us all this money, right? So it's like, it was kind of unfair, because say you buy a painting off somebody for £10, and then the price of it rises exponentially because maybe the painter dies or something, or he becomes really popular. You don't then just go back to the person you sold it to and go, oh, that painting's worth like 20 times more now, give me a bit more money for it, because the transaction's been done. And that's kind of how I felt about the BeatStars thing. It wasn't about me losing money, it was about the principle of like, we've stepped into this agreement, and I was in full faith thinking I was buying an unlimited sample, but that's unlimited license, sorry, but that's not actually what's happened, is it? Right? And it says that if I don't agree to this,
100% is insane. Okay, I know this isn't the time, but it is funny to me how through even text you could tell how British it is. Just, I'll get that you made the beat, but I'll actually put a fair bit of work into the arrangement. Just the fair bit of work. I don't know why I found that funny. I know this is a whole serious situation, but the fact I know how I have a large percentage of UK viewers, so I hope it didn't offend anybody there. But I actually put a fair bit of work. I don't know why, it's so blatantly British to me that it is kind of funny. You have been super respectful. I'm surprised that you're being this tame. Still.
They're within their right to claim 100% of the song because I have breached something in the contract, right? Now, this is what I breached. Apparently Content ID was turned on the track, okay, on YouTube. As you'll see from my earlier on in this video, I actually specifically requested Content ID was turned off, and my YouTube guide did turn it off. There has been something to do with the distribution where somewhere along the line, even after I specifically requested this, it may have gotten turned on at some point, right? Where this doesn't actually make any money, which we've got proof of, because I actually let reactors, I let content creators monetize their own videos where they're reacting to my songs. I've done this since the start because I believe that everyone should get paid. It helps promote me. I'm not losing out. Everyone's a winner. A rising tide lifts all ships, baby. So, like,
people have said that in the comments before. My videos are all still claimed. They aren't blocked or anything. but they are still claimed. I'm not making money on any of these yet. I could request in the future, but I think because they are kind of like everyone who's seen them has seen them already. I don't think there's a point to really debating it right now. But if in the future I do become monetized, I think that is something that I could look into if I continue to be a Ren reactor or whatever. But that is cool. It is cool that he does that. But it doesn't happen automatically. You would have to apply to it, which I haven't done. Just because there's no point right now for me to do it. But yeah.
I'm like, they're using this as leverage, but legally, but thus is the world. They actually had something to lean on with that. So they were like, look, if you don't agree to these terms, 15% retroactive master split, this share on publishing, and a £3,000 advance against the master, we're going to take 100% of what you own. At this point, I'm obviously pretty annoyed, which is pretty understandable, right? Anyway, at this point, they've got my attention, so there's no reason they need to use the video for Sick Boy as leverage, right? So I give them a fair warning. I'm like, mate, if you don't put the video back up on Friday, I'm going to have to put a public post explaining why it's down. And I give him a fair warning, which is also important to remember, because later on he plays the victim, saying that I've put a post encouraging my fans to bully him, which I didn't. I gave him a fair warning about it. I never once encouraged them to bully him. I just needed to explain why my video was down. He does not seem like
the type of guy to catalyze a fan base as an attack against an individual. I feel like that's a stretch.
Was proper stressing me out, and I feel like I didn't want to be silenced about the whole situation. The time comes around, I put the post out, and I'm always still thinking for like a positive solution here. So I have like a brainwave of like, oh, I've got a brilliant solution, right? So
the idea of I read through the whole thing. I didn't read it aloud, but we make a track together, independent of BeatStars, independent of anyone else. I don't know. This guy really, Ren called the guy's lawyer a shark. The guy called Ren's lawyer incompetent. I don't know, that offering this just feels frivolous.
I approach him and I'm like, dude, look, I know that things got complicated here, but out of principle, I don't really want to budge on the master split for this thing, but I've got a much better idea. Because a lot of my fan base are like, now giving him, because I put the public post out, a lot of my fan base is giving him grief, and I'm like, you know what, I don't want this guy's life to get ruined because of this. Like despite how frustrated it's made me, I don't want this guy to get ruined. I don't want him to get abused about it. I just wanted to get the song back. That was the thing. So like, I sent him a message. I'm like, dude, look, I thought of a thing, because I am a man of principle. I didn't want to bend to threats and stuff about the song being claimed 100%. So I'm like, I've got a much better idea. Let's make a song. We'll split it 50-50 down the middle. Master, publishing, everything. A song from scratch. Then if we do that way, it'll be like a fuck you to the industry, yeah? You and me on a track. You'll make way more money this way because it's 50-50. You'll also get my fan base on your side. It's going to be a great thing. Because I'm always like, I want to look forward. I don't want to look backwards. I don't want to look at all these things that happened in the past. I'm like, this is actually going to make him even more. And he rejected it. He turned...
I find it hard to envision working on another song until this current situation is sorted. I work another job on the side, so I don't really have time to read through all this right now. I give you sets of dancing in the moment. I don't want to bleed you dry or ask for anything that I'm not owned. Respect to you. I've always treated every artist I've ever worked with more than fairly. Why is there an accent on independent? This whole situation is hurting you and your image because you have so much more to lose than me, so I wish we could have kept this private. That's insane. It's like, oh, I'm willing to die on this hill because you have more to lose than I do. That's crazy, especially because he thinks that he looks good here. Yeah, I read through my position massively benefits you. The situation doesn't hurt my image at all. This is massively gaslighting. Tell me which one of these statements wasn't a lie. Now Ren is being way more firm, which I personally think he should have been way earlier, especially because the sheep's wool is sloughing off a little bit here. So
it down, which I still think to this day is a bit of a silly move given what happened and what happened next, but it's a shame, man. And if you're watching this, you really should have taken that. I'm sure you are watching it. You really should have taken that deal. It was brilliant. Not only would it set you up with way more money, which is obviously what you most care about in this situation, but it also got loads of my fans on your side, which would also set you up for all things that you release independently as well, and you'd have come out this looking good. Shame. I offered you that olive branch. I offered quite a few olive branches on numerous occasions, which you weren't interested in. Then after that, there's a post on Instagram saying that I've stolen samples from people, which is bizarre because I never have. So
this line right here, but nice reach, man, he's getting better. And honestly, I'm surprised it took this long, but the idea, I don't think I read all this out. I think I forgot to, but the idea that he's trying to manipulate him publicly, and then Ren's just messaging, nice reach, man. Oh, man.
So I send him a message being like, he said that a British artist has got in touch with him and been like, Ren steal samples, which is obviously complete made up bullshit, right? So I messaged him about that. I'm like, what samples have I stolen? The Vera Hall one that I just put out, totally cleared. We cleared that with publishing company because I actually don't like steal my samples. And then any covers that I've done, they're just on YouTube. You're allowed to do that because there's a cover license on YouTube. So like, what are you talking about? To which he then just like ignores it, takes the post down, and then like and then just goes on some other fucking tangent. So it's like kind of grasping at straws here to make me look like the bad guy. So we arranged to have this call with the lawyers and Kujo, and I'm actually really excited to have the call because it's the first time I can talk to Kujo face to face, deal with this like grown-ups, like adults, and talk to each other. But it's not how it pans out. So we get on the call, and the first thing that happens is the lawyer just says, look, Ren, I think that you taking this public was very unprofessional. And I was like, hold on a second, I wasn't the person who took this public, first of all. Like, taking the video down is an aggressive move. And also, I didn't take it public, first of all. Kujo was commenting countless things on his YouTube before I even make the comment, calling me a liar, a coward, and so like, to say that I took this public, nah, I just responded to what happened and then explained to my fans why the song was down. Those posts are still up for everyone to see. All the posts on his comments are still there for everybody to see. So first of all, it was kind of like, we got into it straight away with me like having to be like, I put it straight and then everyone was like, okay, yeah, fair enough. The funniest thing about that call is Kujo was on it. He did not say
What's crazy is Kujo probably discussed that with his lawyer and said, okay, this is where we're going to start. We're going to hit him with this, and that's going to give us some more leverage. Let's say, like, oh, you shouldn't have taken this public, knowing full well what he said publicly and making false claims about the sample thing.
A single word. Even when I addressed him with questions, his lawyer would interject and go, I can answer that.
I mean, that's what people who are, I don't want to say people who are guilty, but people who are well-versed in law and have something to hide do. Is, oh, I'm not going to speak here. I'm here as a witness. My lawyer does all the talking. You can't incriminate someone on the basis that they want or have a lawyer. But hiding behind one morally looks wrong, in my opinion.
And I'm like, yeah, I kind of want to talk to the person who's like, you know, like an adult.
Because Kujo here, Ren's saying I want to talk to you as an adult. Kujo here is not seeing this as a man-to-man, individual to individual. He's seeing this as man versus business. He's seeing this as man versus money-making scheme. Or man profiting off of money-making scheme. I don't think he sees Ren as an individual. He sees Ren and his team as a conglomerate that he can profit off of because he stole from someone else, and now that person is asking him for money, so he needs to get money from Ren to pay that person. Ren is approaching this as, listen, I understand that, you know, deep down you're a nice guy, which I don't necessarily believe. Deep down you're a nice guy. I want to help you. I want to work with you. You did this really cool beat that I liked, and I want to work with you on it. And I want to make sure that you get your fair share. he's not listening to that. Because he's not approaching this on a human level. He's approaching this on a business level, which Ren specified himself he is not connected to. And it's interesting to see that difference of perspective. I just finished my full thesis draft. So I've done a lot of that with the two of the three main characters, even though the third one hasn't been introduced fully yet in the first 90 pages. He gets introduced in the third chapter, but you don't know that he's going to be a big deal until like the 6th or something like that. 6th or 7th or 8th or something like that. But yeah, there's a lot of this between these two main characters where it's a difference in perspective, and it's a fundamental different understanding of the world that prevents them from seeing what the other sees. And I think that's honestly what's going on here. They have Ren and Kujo have a much worse relationship than those two characters.
I want to talk to this person, and then my lawyer there's even a moment where my lawyer's like, look, I want to address this question to Kujo. Do you actually feel like this situation is fair? He says nothing, and the lawyer interjects again. So for that whole call, which took about half an hour, 40 minutes, he didn't say a single word, and I thought that was disrespectful given the circumstances. He later claimed that it was because he doesn't legally know enough and it should be between the lawyers. But no, man, like, regardless of your legal knowledge, we can still have a conversation like adults. Like, I'm not here to try and like intimidate or anything like that. I want to talk to you like a grown-up, brother. And that didn't happen. I wasn't afforded that luxury. I was talking a fair bit on that call about how I felt about the situation and what I felt was right. And I also said on that call that I didn't think that a retroactive split was right, because of all the reasons I've mentioned, but it is what it is, man. And then we came off the call and I felt pretty let down by it, to be honest. This is where the plot gets even more ridiculous, and I'm sorry this is a long video, guys, but this is mad, and this is emotionally exhausting, this bit. So I read a bunch of comments on Instagram from this person talking about the contract, saying things that aren't actually in the contract. I'm like, who the is this? So I message him and be like, yo, by the way, you're misinformed. The contract actually doesn't state that it's on me to clear the samples. Then I click on the profile. I realise that it's Kujo's girlfriend, so I immediately...
I was wondering. Because in the beginning, he kept saying, like, if Kujo and his girlfriend want to, discuss this more, if they want to share their side of this, they can. And I kept wondering, I didn't say anything about it, but I kept wondering, why does he keep bringing up his girlfriend? What is his girlfriend up to with it? Is it just like a family thing? Is it like a team thing? His girlfriend being involved with it is... This is the second boot to drop, I feel. This is the thing that's been foreshadowed for a while. Wow.
Unsend all those messages. Because to be honest, look, he was getting grief from my fans, and I think to myself, you know what? He needs someone supporting him, even though that he's been an arsehole. I don't want to start messaging his girlfriend and shit, whatever. I'll leave her out of this.
I don't know how unsending messages on Instagram works, because you could still get the notifications from that. I feel like unsending them isn't the best idea. I feel like you should have checked first. But unsending them, and she might be able to see that you open a conversation with her. So I don't know if unsending is the best look, because that might make yourself look worse in her eyes. But I don't know if he cares about that.
But she sees that I've unsent the messages, and she instigates the conversation, says, have you done an oopsie? We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up, and says, have you...
Honestly, that's a good response. That's just fair.
Done an oopsie. We start chatting for a long time. We'll put those messages up so that you can read it. It actually ends...
Okay. First off, Ren was not the first one to make these comments. I feel like she got all of her information from Kujo. I can't really blame her that much. I just feel like she's trying to support her boyfriend. because like all of her statements have already been disproved, but she's spreading it because she thinks she's supporting her boyfriend. I can't really fault her for that. She's just doing what she thinks is right and trying to be a good partner. I don't know if this is necessarily the most important part of the drama. I'll be honest. I mean, they are all lies. It's hard to prove that you haven't done something, but I haven't seen anything that looks like this, that what she's describing. It is strange to say he has a strong sense of justice and then he steals a sample from somebody else. I wonder if she knows about that at all. Yeah. She is angry. She is upset. I can't blame her that much, because it just feels like she has outdated information and she loves Kujo and she's trying to protect him. I don't think that I'm not really gonna spend too much time on looking at this. I don't know why there's so much left in the video. Unless she does something truly awful, I don't really care too much about this.
Did right? So like, cool. You know what? Maybe these guys are. It's just a big misunderstanding, and we can figure a way to amicably sort this out. And I say to her, look, yeah, I'm happy to split the publishing, but I don't really want to split the master out of principle because I bought this, right? You know, but then at this point I start being like, you know what? Maybe I'll split some of the master for the future stuff just to get this out of the way, even though I don't believe I should because they've stolen the beat with us.
The public shaming is crazy. It's like saying, "Oh, you're a murderer. You're a murderer, and you know you're in the wrong. You kill people." But don't tell people that I did it. How dare I face the consequences of my actions?
A stolen sample. I'm like,
whenever he comments like it's all Ren's lawyer, then I explode. Yeah.
This just gets this over the line. I'm happy to split the future master. I even say that in the email thread to the lawyers and stuff, right? So I'm conceding a little bit here because I just want this situation done with. We end on a good note in this conversation. Then the next morning, I wake up to posts from her all over my Reddit lying about the...
Oh, no. Now I see why she's involved. What?
The contract, and then I see a comment on Anthony Ray's video where he's talking about the situation from her, saying this is what the contract says, and she made up she wrote a whole passage that wasn't even in our contract. It was completely made up. So after her being super nice to me behind the scenes in this conversation and feeling like we've read...
I don't know if she was super nice to you, Ren. I think you're giving a little too much credit. Listen, I understand where she's coming from. I think the Reddit thing is a little messed up. I understand where she's coming from outside of that. But I think I understand where she's defending her boyfriend. I think the Reddit thing is a little bit too far. I don't think she was being nice to you, but I understand where she was coming from. That's my final.
I wake up to read this and I'm like, I start losing my mind because I'm like, these guys, they're like, they pretend they're on my side and then it's just like they publicly post all this stuff. So I'm like, I put her up on it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, first of all, this is defamation. You can't be out here like making up stuff that's not even in the contract, you know? So she's like, yeah, it's ridiculous. Right, so next I find a bunch of messages on Reddit from Kujo's girlfriend lying about the contract, which I'm going to put up here, which is actually very illegal, by the way. No, I won't be pressing.
I don't know how illegal that would be. Maybe the laws are different in Britain. So she just made all of this up.
Charges over it. I just want to get this situation out of the way, but so I'm just going to put all these up for you to pause and read if you want to. It's ridiculous, basically. She also says that I was obviously upset, so I wasn't the most cooperative. As you guys, if you skip back in this video,
he was more than cooperative. He was conciliatory, I would even venture to say. I know Kujo personally is... I don't think that that's the most honest way to phrase that. I think, I don't know. I know Kujo personally is like, that's, it's like, I'm holding this woman in worse and worse regard over time, because I know Kujo personally is hiding the fact that you're romantically involved with him, and if you're romantically involved with him, you are fundamentally biased beyond even knowing him. A little bit got lost, I think, in my recording, but it's fine. This video is long enough already.
Right. I had to accept by giving up all my shares of the song in exchange for a fixed fee. Yeah, that was something between my lawyers. Ren took in public the next morning. Yes, I did.
See, this is the exact opposite of the Ren thing with the brain surgery, with blaming health. It's like, oh, I lied, but I have ADHD. I have ADHD, so I'm time blind. I think that there's a very stark difference between I literally couldn't deal with this, I was in brain surgery, and I was being treated for brain damage in Canada for 2 years or whatever, or half a year, something like that. Versus, I have ADHD, so I'm time blind, so you can't ask me questions like this.
Right, let's take this home now. At this point, I've just lost all amicability, right? I'm pissed off.
Honestly, as you should.
I messaged Kujo's girlfriend and him saying, it's the first time I've threatened to sue, but I'm like, if I see any more lies from you guys about this situation, I will sue you guys. Because it's like, that's my public image. Like, I pride myself on the fairness that I show everyone that I work with, right? And my principles. And I'm also very against greed, and I stand against it militantly, which a lot of you will know from my work and how I treat people. How I treat people that I work with, right? So them spreading this stuff that I'm trying to be greedy here massively hurts my public image. So yeah. I was like, if you guys lie anymore about this, yeah, I'm going to do something about it, basically. And then I'm talking to Kujo and things get more heated. We get another email from their lawyer saying, you know, like, if you won't agree to our terms, we will take 100% of the song. That's where we stand on it. That is final. If you do not agree to this retroactive master split, we're taking everything. So I messaged back. I'm going to show you that email. I messaged back, essentially summarizing this email. I just say, I'm going to take down the song myself. I'm fed up of this. I'm fed up of you threatening me with my own song that I poured myself into. I've explained what it means to me. I explained to both of them what it means to me. So I'm like, I'm taking it down myself.
Okay. This video is taking way too long. For this last part, there's going to be no camera. I'm just full charge at the start of this video.
I don't want to let them win over this. I've been in situations in the music industry before where I had to concede because I was broke and I just had to let a powerful, greedy person win over me, you know, like, and I know this is not the same situation. It's not like Kujo is like this in this huge position of power here, but how they've dealt with this whole situation was ridiculous. So I was like, rather than like bend to this leverage and just out of principle, I'm just going to take the song off. And it's ironic, man, because the song is about greed, you know, and it hurts me a lot that it's down now. It proper hurts me, man. I can't stress that enough because of what the song was and what the song meant to me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So I sent these emails. I also sent a mass email out to everybody, the publisher, Kujo, the lawyers involved, just saying how disappointed I am across the board, even from people on my side. I was just disappointed at how this whole situation been dealt with, because ultimately at the core of this situation, the only person getting proper hurt financially from this is me, right? Because of my hard work that I've done to promote this music, because of my story and how that's been exploited. I'm the person who will suffer future losses for the earnings, and that regardless of earnings, fuck earnings for a second, that song I was proud of. What it meant to people, I was proud of. The messages that I get from people every day.
Okay. I got 5 minutes left. There's a lot left.
telling me like how much they relate to the song, how much it helps them through difficult times, you know, like that's gone now, that's taken away from people. So yeah, I'm pissed off. Anyway, so I sent that email out. Me and Kujo share some pretty heated words. If you're a petty person, you'll probably like to pause on some of this. It's ridiculous. One of the things that took the piss the most that he said when I just lost my cool at this point. I lost all.
Honestly, he's saying that he lost his cool. That's not really showing up to me so far in the messages. At this point, Kujo is losing his cool. I wouldn't really hold that against him here, even though everything led up to this point is showing that he's in the wrong. But this, I feel like, is kind of not that damning.
Patience. One of the funny things he said after all this was like, if you really cared about your fans, then you would leave them the song. So he
Oh no, the audio message. Yeah, he's just chasing the money.
Was turning it around on me when he'd used the song as leverage. He said, if you cared about your fans, you leave it up for them. Then he said, you're letting...
It's because he's dealing with you as a business, as a money-making avenue. He sees you as revenue. He doesn't see you as a person. That's why he's like, oh, if I leverage this against you because it's something you want, then I could use it against you to get what I want. But you are a person. And I feel like at this point, he's not acting like it.
I'm letting my pride and ego get in the way because I'm not paying him money that I didn't think he deserved for selling a stolen beat, right? He's saying that that's my ego. It's my ego's fault. And then he's just saying, he kept saying, just pay me, let me get my bag, I want the money, just give me my money. I explained to him again, like, dude, I'm not the person that pays you the money. I've explained this to you so many times. It's the publisher. And he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, you so many times.
Your music sucks, by the way. Like, just throw that in.
Publisher, and he's like, all right, cool. It finally seems to sink in that, like, I haven't stolen this man's money. I haven't taken a penny of this man's money. The publisher was at fault for not registering it properly, and they're resolving that, and then he'll get his money from the publishing. I don't want a penny of that. I don't care about that money. Do you know what I mean? Like, whatever. He deserves a bit of money for making that part of the beat. Sure. He shouldn't have stolen a sample and sold it to me. Theoretically, he could have all of his publishing taken away, but even after all of this, I still agreed to give him a bit of a publishing split, just to shut him up, man. So it's like, I could have been even more petty and dug my feet in there, but I just want this situation over with. So the song's down.
Yeah.
The funniest comment that I'm going to end this on, because this is going to be some album artwork, by the way. Single artwork, sorry. This is the next announcement. He goes, all right, peace. Your music sucks, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is really funny, considering, the message earlier where he told me that it was an honor, or it was like, it was really good to work with me, you know.
It's because he's petty. He's petty and he's a snake. That's what I'm getting from this. If he's not, he's not. But that's what I surmise.
I'm releasing a song about this whole situation, and it's dedicated to Kujo. And it's coming out next week. It's coming out a week today. It's called Kujo Beatdown.
Oh no.
And I love it. We made an amazing video for it. I made a beat. By the way, the beat has no unlicensed samples in it. I made the whole thing myself.
Okay, I don't have enough time to listen to that right now. That's gonna be the next video. That has to be the next video. That's insane.
Anyway, guys, I know that this was a long video, but I wanted there to be no doubt as to where everything stood in this situation and why you don't have a song that means so much to so many people and means so much to me. But there will be a revamped version of that song coming very soon, guys. And if you've made it this far, thank you, sincerely. And I hope there can be no doubt as to this situation. Thank you.
But that's going to be all from me. So until next time, adieu.